Now that we have 36 starred the Abyss on supports only, it means that I don't need to build meta characters anymore. I can have some fun with my builds and build some characters that I have wanted to build for a while, but never had the time to put into or the resources because I was building meta characters. And one of those characters is our most recently obtained standard 5-star, Mizuki. And it's good I'm doing this after we've already 36 starred the Abyss because she does not do a lot of damage. So I have been doing a little bit of farming for our Mizuki. I think I have all of these. It is a good thing there's a lot of these in the world because I managed to get all 135 in one day. I had 0 and I went to 135 in one singular day. It took me like 40 minutes, but there's a good amount of them, so that was no problems. This wasn't a problem either. Shouldn't have a problem with these. We can craft 123 of the greens. It is just these. These are our big problem at the moment. And I've already done as much crafting as I can do, but we are out of dust and I need a lot more dust. So we have 5 standard banner pools. So I'm going to quickly do those ones and see if we can get anything. I don't really care though, because I'm just doing this for the Stardust. And as a surprise to no one, we get nothing. Now, annoyingly, we do have these that just reset, but I don't have enough stuff to buy those, and I kind of want to build Mizuki. We can deal with it later. We don't need it now. What I do need now is a lot of these. So we have enough of the golds crafted, but we need another 4 of the purples. We can just about do it, so there we go. That is all the stuff for Mizuki. So let's get straight into this build, shall we? We will get Mizuki all the way up to level 90, hopefully, depending on books, which we're not going to have enough of. We don't even have enough to get her up to level 70. Well, looks like I will be going and running some ley lines. But in the meantime, let's go over the rest of her build really quick. In terms of weapons, I'm pretty sure everyone uses her on sacrificial fragments, but I honestly could throw her on Laum's signature weapon. Not 100% sure about that, but it gives us a bunch of EM and we want EM. So I could either use Laum's signature or sacrificial. I think I'm going to go with sacrificial just because the passive is a little bit more useful. So we're going to go for a full EM build, which annoyingly only Kazuha has a decent EM piece. I would like to keep Kazuha on his build. That's immediately not going any further. And do we see another EM roll? We see another crit rate. I'll take it. It works. It's good enough. Feathers, we can steal Farazans. We need an EM Sands. Neither of our EM Sands are very good. Let me get back to that. Never mind, we don't even have an EM Goblet. We will not be getting back to that. We'll level this piece up. So there we go. What a piece. We're gonna have to go off piece for the... We don't even have an EM... Oh, Jesus Christ, okay. We don't have EM anything. Let me see if I have any Strongbox stuff and see if I can get some EM pieces. I don't think I do have any Strongbox though. Oh, I have a little bit. Let's see. Excuse me? It just like flashed the artifacts and then they disappeared. Of course though, we see a really nice EM Sand, so I'm gonna definitely swap out of that. And this piece is being used to level this one up. I mean, hey, that's a pretty solid piece. I will take it. Although, no other EM. This is going to be our last roll. We see nothing. Okay, that's going to be a problem. Looks like I'm taking Kazuha's pieces. I didn't want to take Kazuha's, but we don't have anything, so let's just steal one of his. And we'll go EM on the goblet. We don't have anything, so I'm taking Kazuha's again. Okay, there we go. Viridescent, 924 EM. I'd like that to be closer to 1,000, but I think we get EM buffs from something. Yes, we'll get 100 EM from this passive. It'll put us just over 1,000 EM, which will be fine. What will not be fine, though, is how little level up books I have. Now, I believe her main kit is her skill, so I'm going to focus on that. We'll get it up to level... We can't even go to 6. Okay. Well, we'll get the burst up to level 3. No, we can go 4. They are open today. Looks like I'm using some fragile resin then, because I'd like to get this to at least, I don't know, 7 maybe? At least for the skill, we can go a little bit less on the burst depending on what I have. Now, I am going to, I think, use this team because, well, we really can't use much else. Because, obviously, Mizuki has her weird thing with her kit where you can't do normal attacks when you're in her skill. So we can't use anyone that requires normal attacks to do their off-field application. So this is probably the team I'm going to run with. It's kind of scuffed, but I think it will work well enough. I mean, really, we don't have many other options. because in terms of off-field elements that we can swirl, well, we could, I guess, do a Scoffier, but I don't think Freeze swirl does a whole lot. There is, aggravate teams, but you need 2 good off-field Electro for that. Raiden's not going to cut it. I mean, technically, I could put in like Dory or Sar or Cookie, but they're all not going to be very good. You ideally want a Fischl or a Roron, but we can't use them. This is kind of the best team I've come up with so far. Well, we've done enough of that to get her up to level 70, which means we're going to send her up to level 80, and we won't be able to level her up because we don't have any books. We do get a standard pull though, and it gives us a 4-star, and that 4-star is Yunjin. You know what? We'll take it. I don't know what constellation that is, but I will take it. That is, in fact, a C3. I don't use Yunjin that much, so I doubt that will ever get put to use. But we have it now, so hell yeah. We get closer to C6, and you just want all your 4-stars to be C6, basically. You know what? Maybe I'll just get her up to 81 today, because this video needs to literally get posted in about 5 hours. This video needs to be live on YouTube, so I don't really have the time to go spend farming a ton of stuff, nor do I really want to use a lot of my fragile resin. So we'll just get her up to 81. I mean, she probably will get more damage from going to 90, but we definitely want to get her up to 81 so we get that last ascension, which we can now do. So there is level 80. There is the last ascension, and there is not 81 because we can't do that. So there's level 80. Last ascension, that's just going to have to do because I don't have the time nor the fragile resin to go farm enough level up books to get her to level 90. But with that, it leaves us at 981 EM. If I want that 1000 EM, I swap to Laoma's weapon, and now we have 1026. So I might actually just use her on Laoma's weapon because we get more EM just from the base stat. The Lunar Bloom stuff is just not going to happen, and all that Bloom stuff is useless. What damage are we doing in here, though? Just to have a look. Not a whole lot. I'm seeing basically everything's less than 10k. I mean, there's a lot of numbers. That's a good thing. They're just very, very small numbers, and those Animo numbers are really, really small. And, Farina just does 32,000 or 17,000, so I think most of our damage is coming from Farina. Okay, let's have a look at this. We can get this skill up to level 6, and we need more stuff. Okay, give me a second. There we go. And we probably, yeah, we can get the burst up to level 5, maybe. There you go. And that is quite literally going to be it. So 275. Sure, I guess that works. 1000 EM goes up to 1100 when we swell Hydro. Laoma's weapon, because again, why not? Artifacts of Iridescent, C0. I need to test this in Abyss because we need multiple enemies. Because Mizuki does quite literally nothing against single target. What about floor 10? Do we have multiple enemies here? We do have a lot of enemies. I guess we'll just do floor 10. Realistically, we're not going to do enough damage to get any further than this. Let's have a look at this, shall we? Boom. Do that. Do your skill. Mizuki burst. And boom. What do we see? I see some 3Ks. I see some 4Ks. I see a 45,000 from Farina. And a 16,000 at the end. Probably also just because Farina does a lot of damage. Why yes. What an incredible team. Let me try rotations a little bit differently this time. Let's go Raiden first. Then Farina. I probably need Farina's burst, but oh well. And then Mizuki. Wow. Look at that. Absolutely ginormous damage. I will say there's a lot of damage, which is nice. So, I mean, like, we're seeing a lot of damage from Farina. Not a lot of damage from everyone else. I mean, it works. That's about all I can say. Let me think. Is there any way I can do anything to make Mizuki do more damage? Not really, because, like, she herself doesn't do a lot of damage. I will say Mizuki's really good for getting her burst up against little enemies, because she does next to no damage. I mean, hey, there was like a 12k in there or something. That's, I don't know how to play this team, but you know what else I could try? Now, I don't expect this to do anything. What if we just go Farina, Shalonen, and then Bennett, I guess. I'm gonna try full DPS Mizuki. This is probably gonna do nothing, but it could be funny, I guess. We want her on the Widsith. We're gonna build her all for crit. This isn't gonna work, but it'd be funny if it did. There we go. We have the Widsith. We have Viridescent. We are at a 44 to 216. I'm going to use crit rate food. If this works, I will be genuinely surprised, but I will say it would be funny. I mean, hey, that did 13,000. That was more than I was expecting. It's still really bad, but that was a lot more than I was expecting. I was genuinely expecting to see about 5k. So, I mean, hey, I guess it worked. We are really clutching at straws here, but I'm coming into this domain because it gives you animo damage when you swell stuff. I am trying way too hard to make this work. And we see 1,000,000 damage out of Mizuki. Boom. Wow, that was incredible. I mean, hey, she's hitting for 8,000 per swell thing, 10,000 there, 7,000. I could try to calculate how much that was per skill rotation. I guess if we do a full rotation, including burst and everything, we would end up with this number for a full Mizuki damage rotation just out of her own damage, like from a burst and skill. I think the only thing we really got out of this video is we learnt that Mizuki doesn't really do a whole lot, to be fair. I'd like it if she does, because she's actually a really cool character. I like her design, but her damage is non-existent. And I mean, the swell damage, it's swell stuff. It'd help if I had the correct characters, you know, like Fischl and Auroron. So I mean, I guess if you have any ideas on how to make her do more damage, go ham, let me know. I genuinely don't think there's any way to make her do substantial amount of damage or make any teams with her do substantially more damage than just using like a Sucrose. I think like 99% of the time you can just use Sucrose and she does more damage than Mizuki. I mean, I wanted to build Mizuki and she is built, but that's about all I can say. Well, I need to go edit this video now, so I guess that is where I'm going to leave it. We didn't do a whole lot, but we did something, I guess. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you like this video, go check out the last video on supports only, where we finally 36-starred the Spiral Abyss. And with that being said, I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.